Kwa Likee TV na message and our channel so hit and subscribe and like some drop any latest news content about the brand now so set me akabi na ya power and cinema 84 and summer ebo popano say one is on kwa say Akroma president and not dan kwa kufodo and some of the chief judges for them say my brain say Mowuli in favor of MPP na constitution no matoto na sesa no say NDC for no eba power ebija musa kwa enya moboa omuchemu say they will hold you people accountable. Yes, the president will to me manipulate chief justice. It me ruling in favor of MPP there and the president coming elected no so no ewo power say hold you people accountable now.
Speaker of Parliament, as much as he's the Speaker of Parliament, he has his reach. So as see our Parliament, not or no see himself first as a Ghanaian, no, he can find a way indirectly to send a message to the left and right guys to say, this is the path I want you to take. And when you take this path, I will meet you halfway and this will be solved. Speaker last press conference, he sent a message out there. Also, I have sent a bill to the president. Speaker was speaking to statesmen in Ghana. I say my position here is for me to be the moderator in parliament and the head of parliamentary business. I have my powers and I know my limit. The president has his powers and he knows his limit. The Supreme Court Chief Justice has her powers and she knows her limit. Speaker, or Sharano Kachira Ghana for you say, if you want people to understand, say, I respect my position and respect my office. Through my office, we have done a diligent job and sent a bill to the president. The president should show respect because it should be reciprocal. When the president shows respect, the people in parliament with me will understand that it is only respect that can make us live. Sometimes we will agree to disagree, and sometimes we will disagree to agree. So, Speaker, at your press conference, now say, I have sent a bill to the president. So Speaker was sending a message across to Ghanaians to say, you know something? Somebody should understand and tell the president that when he starts to respect my office, I will respect his office, and the Supreme Court will respect my office the same way the Supreme Court wants me to respect their office. And think President Kufuor opportunity to speak on parliamentary issues at a vacant seat. No? President Kufuor's target was Speaker Bagbin. I think to me, I think it was deliberate and it is wrong. You see, as some see, let us stop being too partisan. But sometimes your utterances will show whether you are trying to be cunning or you want a problem to be solved in the interest of everybody, or you want a problem to be solved in your interest. There are two things here. Sometimes assemble to you can say it in a way to favor you indirectly. You can also choose to say it in a way that will favor everybody in that room. Ex-President Kufuor, as some way or better way, he was saying it to favor his party indirectly. Because, ex-President Kufuor, the first statement I will do is, Speaker's Bagbin's office is a respectable office. And I believe that the three arms of government, each one of them should respect each one's office. Me or I, as the ex-president, I expect the president to do the needful to show the speaker the respect. Because I've been in that office before. I've been in the executive before. I need to show the leader or parliament that necessary respect. And Zikaje Kufuor ba and Kobeka say, I was say President Kufuor this I respect my Bagbin. Now President Kufuor, any respect my Bagbin. Now sign that into law. It shows that Bagbin will so understand that at least the office he's occupying, some people are respecting him. Now, from the stance of President Kufuor, it is looking like the Supreme Court and the executive, they have power than the judiciary, the legislature. That is the biggest problem. You don't underestimate anyone in this issue. You let every single person understand, say, their powers are equal, and it is. So you cannot just come and say, Speaker Bagbin has solutions to parliamentary standoff in his bosom. He should show leadership. Speaker Bagbin showed leadership. He directed the message to old men like you people to let the president understand from day one, he has disrespected parliament, meaning he has disrespected the constitution. Why are we here? Sometimes issues bar. Let's look at the issues and speak on the issues. Yeah, Jane Nasan was as we so. Bagbin, Jane or the parliament here. Bagbin, I can't in Nasan was as you soon wedi. What is Bagbin taking parliament or the coin? But there's a reason why what is happening in parliament is happening. So why aren't we looking at the issues? Speaker Bagbin and parliament, they feel that the Supreme Court and the executive are undermining their powers. And the NPP in parliament are taking advantage of or looking at what their boss, the executive or the Jubilee House is doing, and also what the CJ is doing. That is what they are taking inspiration from. And Nitina Afenyomakin and the NPP side, they don't want to respect the Speaker of Parliament. But this man is the number 3 in this land. So ex-President Kufuor should at least know that. Fine, he has that in his bosom. But the issue is, with all due respect, Mr. Kufuor, if somebody doesn't show you respect and you have something to offer, are you going to do it? That is what we talk about every day. Speaker Bagbin in his press conference clearly gave a signal that I am willing to even talk to the NDC. But the utterances from the NPP and people like Kufuor and no Nadia Bedruha. So you hear every day after John Markin sitting on TV, on radio, insulting Speaker Bagbin. With all due respect, Mr. Kufuor, if it wasn't for you being president, I don't think, say, in politics, you are better than Speaker Bagbin. It's a fact. You got the opportunity to be president before he became speaker. But in politics, when we are putting the two of you, your credentials side by side, he's far better than you. So why are we making it look like, say, speaker is the problem? Why are we making it look like, say, Alban Bagbin is the problem? Alban is not the problem. It's the kids, the NPP side, who are failing to show respect. Into my own statement today, I was so shocked, because this is not the time to be making it look like, say, speaker is a problem. Speaker, yeah, there be a being cedar. What has he done? You see, the guy. All right, we will deal with this tomorrow. You get it? We don't take stance in this matter. You go straight to the issues. Or do you people think Speaker Bagbin in summer afternoon MP before Kafano? He's human. Maybe sometimes when he's in public, he's the kind who is cracking jokes a lot. But it hurts him. Afternoon marking with this saying, that been about politics, for him to be using such kind of words against Speaker Bagbin. Why? Why is Kufuor not worried about that? The utterances we are hearing from Atachiani, why are we not worried about that? Are they turning into Onyenipa? Are they because he's affiliated to the NDC Onimnyanza? Why do we do that? Yeah. Let me tell Ghanaians. Anytime Kacho say, when people chase power for 30 years, they are dangerous than tyrants. Ekufuor is a dictator. Yeah? Yebusa John Mahama, asama esi eye parliament no. Ono pa no, how does he think? Send our Odin Sanke and solve no.
Eno sa me kan ho asa me say anka me yampanyi a me gidi say anka me ye. Anka memma afenyo marking leader of MPP in parliament akoyi Supreme Court. Na my first speaker, my friend leader of NDC, leadership of MPP. Na menya asofu penyin bi any council of state, National Peace Council na abekan yo. Na yahwe se ne besi timi aka asem nafa na esiesie se ne be ya parliament ebe ye adwuma biom.
That is what leaders do. That is what leaders do. As some way see your parliament, kwasi ampen your Tröゥblé house wakasa ho. The vice president who wants to be president, has he spoken about it? And we sit here And you are making it look like Speaker Gbagbe, no, he hates Ghana, Ghana. John Mahama say, if Torkornoo a leader of Ghana, they also say, Obetima convince a yedian, after your marking majority say, Assem and your court assem a political issue. Munko in free court mra. Now or no president, no afraid a NPP for, no afraid NDC for, no afraid penny for, no money not trying to say, hey, Mammy and see and Tumago, our bontine, let's solve this thing and move on and build this nation. That's it. Kwasia we sorry I know the Speaker Gbagbe na tem. Inti ex-president Kofo, you've not heard this? And one kabeude. Speaker has come out with his side of the story. We need to get serious. Let's stop this. Okay? Mama Nchora Davy. And this is a statement I saw, I feel say, very important to you, the young one watching me. Tatuchi kata akasembi, and every day me tell me show we so ameka. And as someone is saying, or say it's not enough to say that the president has too much power and that the constitution must be reviewed. We need to learn to hold leaders accountable for their failures. Or say it is not enough to say that the president has too much power and that the constitution must be reviewed. Me said that 1992 constitution has not been exhausted even 30%. Chachuchi Kata say, "Enya enough say the be say president will do me too much into the review constitution." I will say you hold the people to account. They need to be accountable for their leadership. When they fail, we need to hold them accountable. That is our problem. It's not a constitution. Mami Kanchiro. I can sit here and tell you all government institutions or all the arms of government has too much power. What do? Do we nullify the whole constitution? Because from what is happening in parliament, you will tell me, say, oh, parliament they have too much power, and I'm a boy. So right now we should go and review parliament our powers. What is happening? Some group 2 will say the Supreme Court, it has too much power. We should go and do what? We should go and nullify review the Supreme Court, the constitution. Now we will say the executive has too much power. What we are going to do is we'll be shifting blames. What we can do to solve the problem is to make sure that we hold people accountable. That is the fact. It is not a constitution. And let me say this. Let me restate this. There has never been a perfect constitution on this earth, and there will never be a perfect constitution. We will have to make the constitution better by exhausting the constitution and making sure we implement what is in the constitution. Constitution is da hon yemfa nye adwuma. Obi also ko jail on ko jail. Obi also yetwena so ye wia yes we will to me too much. That is the problem. Time my friend Paul Boateng did a report by as a sector minister or state ebubo di womuno. That was the day the president was supposed to sack every single person in that document to tell them to go home. And that an investigation needs to be opened into the sector minister's report. We sat here, the president rubbished it. The constitution states it clearly. We didn't do it. So why are we sitting here saying, the constitution needs to be reviewed? I'm not going to fight you. If it needs to be reviewed, it needs to be reviewed. But let's look back. Have we exhausted? Are we holding people accountable? We are allowing people to go through the cracks, do whatever they want to do, abuse the public purse. Today in Ghana, the president and his wife, their wives were being paid monies that were not supposed to be paid to them. They were taking the taxpayers' money illegally. Do you know, sir, all the taxpayers' money for 1 minute, do you know how much affected a Ghanaian citizen? Yetia Samira and Rebecca sika illegally for years. Asanu could do that, I see no problem. Are we mad? They didn't face any consequence. So Ochina, President Biba, na Okoye Bibi na Yirikoye Bibia. Are we going to say Yenchin Tani Pani Yirin Tumana? Ye Jimiana. Samira is supposed to be in jail. Samira Baumiano Rebecca. They were paid illegally from the national coffers. Taxpayers' money was paid to them illegally. The money, they used it in their benefit, to their benefit. And that money could have saved a life. It could have saved a life at Kolebu. It could have saved a life at UGMC. So for them causing that and willingly committing that crime, they were supposed to serve jail term. Why are we sitting here?
It must sit some Déströying or Daily Update TV.